Now available for the first time in paperback. Stop Simping in the Workplace. Men, learn what you need to know in order to protect your job from workplace predators with Stop Simping in the Workplace. Available in paperback at online booksellers everywhere. The way men and women approach interviews and the job market are completely different. And I saw this clearly with a phone call I got regarding a marketing job yesterday. Now, around 4 o'clock, I got this phone call from this woman regarding this marketing job, and she asked me to tell her a bit about myself. And I told her all about my writing background, all the 50 books I published on Amazon.com, and the over 10,000 book sales I got over the last couple of years, plus my 5,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel and the 2 million hits I got on my blog. And after I told her all about this, she talked about how I needed to have more enthusiasm and how I wasn't speaking with any sort of energy. And I looked at that and I saw it as an emotional response, because when it comes down to females, they always want to feel. And everything is about emotion. And what they don't understand is that men do not approach pre-phone calls with emotion. They do not get emotional on the phone, because as part of our professional demeanor, we have to remain calm and we have to have a calm tone in order to be able to communicate with people. We don't get into a whole host of emotions and making a whole lot of emotional responses, because that's just not the way men are wired. When it comes down to men, we express our energy completely differently than most females. And what this female wanted me to do was express emotion just like a female. And I noticed this with several other interviews I've had over the years. I remember when I was at AmeriCorps, that was what they asked me to have. And I said, no, men don't operate like that, because when a man approaches an interview, he's looking to see whether or not he's going to be a good fit for this position, and he's focused really on accomplishing the tasks at hand. His goal when he enters a workplace is not to show emotion. His goal is to solve problems and to get things done. That's primarily what men do. Women, on the other hand, when they enter the workforce, they want to have all their feelings out there, and then they want to make friends with people, and they want to be really social. Men don't work socially. Men work by solving problems, and their way of solving problems in certain jobs is to be able to answer questions in a comprehensive manner and a way that helps them understand things. That's how men do things in marketing and sales, because this is how I solve problems as related to products I would put up on eBay, or when I'm trying to sell ebooks or paperbacks online. I sit there, and this is how I develop customer service, by making sure that I'm able to answer any questions a customer has and be able to solve their problems related to the product, or be able to give them good information regarding the product. And most customers really just want to be able to get their information as soon as possible. They don't want to engaging you in a really deep conversation. They just want to be able to get in and get out, and they don't want to be able to have to sit there and listen to you go back and forth with them. Females, on the other hand, they want to go back and forth with a person, and what this female wanted me to do was engage her in a back and forth. And I really, if it's not about setting up a date for an interview, then the phone call is not worth my time. And she was like, well, I was thinking about giving you the interview. And I'm like, I'm not going into a back and forth with you. Either you want to do it or not. And it was like you're all about emotion and not about setting forth solving the problem, which is, if you see a person who you're interested in, you're going to give them a call and then set up the interview, and that's going to be it. But this person wanted to get into a back and forth with me, and I just decided to just say it's not the position for me. And I just hung up, because I listened to this and I said, looking at the bigger picture related to this position, it looked like a place where it was female controlled. It was all about emotions. And in that type of environment, most men are going to have a lot of problems, because whenever you have females and they're all up in their feelings, you cannot really focus on solving a problem or getting anything done, because products primarily are not sold by emotional people. Products are primarily sold based on the reputation of the product, one, and then two, the salesperson being knowledgeable enough to help that person solve problems as related to the needs of that product in how they are living in dealing with things in their life. This product is a quality product and it's going to help somebody improve their quality of life. What people want to know is that that solid salesperson is knowledgeable enough in the product to be able to tell them about the product in a way that makes them understand how that product works. Some guy can come to you with a bunch of emotion based on so-called enthusiasm, and he may make you feel something that may make you buy it in the short term, but that's not going to lead to that customer sticking with that product in the long term. As a publisher, I know this to be true because when I go out here and I make YouTube videos related to many of my books, most of the people who buy those books are satisfied with them, that they go back and buy more books based on the one that they've read. It's books like the Simp series sell themselves because the information is solid. And what further reinforces it is that I can come on here and talk about these men's issues in depth and talk about problem solving in depth. And that's what makes those books sell to the reader. But when you deal with females, everything is about emotion, everything is about now, and it's not about trying to solve a problem or get tasks done. I mean, I listened to this female, and she did a really poor job of selling herself to me and selling her company as a place to work at. If you are all up in your feelings, then you're not going to be able to get much done. This is something I also saw a couple of years ago when I went to interview with Whole Foods. I remember the female there talking about enthusiasm and coming about things for the emotion. And I look at Whole Foods right now, and it's a company that is falling completely apart. I read an article which said that Whole Foods these days is a miserable place to work, and that you have all these things in place talking about people have to have scores where they're at 89% in order to keep their jobs. The shelves aren't stocked because they stock everything out and don't have anything in the back. And that's all based on an emotional approach to running a business. It's not a logical approach. A logical approach is if you have stuff on the shelf, that you have stuff in the back in case you need to restock. And you also need to have your employees where they are at an even keel so that they can serve the customers. Whole Foods these days, they say that they have rooms where people go in there and cry because they're under so much pressure because everybody is all up in their feelings. And when you're on a job, you really don't want to have employees all in their feelings or everything about emotion. You want to be able to have a business where people are efficiently coming in to buy the products, and the staff there knows about the products well enough to sell the products to the customer or answer any questions related to the products. And then you want to have customer service where the people have a good relationship with the customers so that the customers are coming in and buying the product. And you also want to have a strong front end where they're going out and they're coming out satisfied customers. But Whole Foods, like many others, believes in emotion. Just like this marketing company, everything is about emotion, everything is about feeling. And when you have a company where everybody is in their feelings, nobody is focused on accomplishing any of the goals as related to the organization. This is why it's important to have people who can navigate through their feelings, control their emotions, and have an ability to not be so enthusiastic. What people show in the workplace is not emotion in the way that they talk. What they show, their so-called enthusiasm, is by completing the task at hand. And people completing the task at hand in a fashion that gets things done to a way that you can move to the next step, that's how a person shows their enthusiasm. They don't show it through their emotions in an interview. If a person shows all their emotions in an interview, that really suggests to any smart manager that this guy or this woman is extremely weak, and this is a person that can be easily manipulated, because people who are very emotional show people that they have buttons that can be easily pushed, that they have buttons that can be easily controlled, and that anyone can take advantage of them. A person, on the other hand, who can control their emotions and navigate through their emotions, that's a person that a person is not going to be able to manipulate or control in a workplace, and that's a person who is ready to compete in a workplace. That's somebody who is ready to take the lead in a workplace. And that's someone who I would want working for me, because I know I do not want an emotional person working for me, because emotional people who are quote unquote too enthusiastic or too emotional, what happens to those people is you put them in a customer service situation, they run into an irate customer, and then they wind up doing something to embarrass your business. Or they go into a situation and they make promises they can't keep, or the company cannot keep, and they wind up jamming you up that way. So having an emotional person in your workplace, it's a dangerous thing. I mean, there's passion, but the passion has to be tempered with discipline. And this is something many people don't understand about the workplace, is that yes, people have to care about what they do, but they have to watch how they do it. When you're a person in a workplace, you want to make sure that you not only are selling the product or the service, but you're selling it in a way that is extremely professional. Because professionalism is about making sure that you are maintaining some sort of consistency in your words, consistency in your actions, and making sure that you are not so emotional that people can see it, sense weakness in you. People just don't understand positions of strength, because an enthusiastic person will be enthusiastic, but they will temper that with discipline, because they know that expressing too much emotion, especially a man expressing too much emotion, is just a sign of weakness. And if a man approaches a situation from a position of weakness, he is going to give leverage to those, and they're going to use that leverage to take advantage of a person in a situation like an interview. And when you're in an interview, you just don't want to express too much emotion, because that shows that you're too eager, it shows that you're too ambitious, and those are not good things to show in an interview or a professional situation. And I listened to this person in this whole phone call, and they showed me that this company really has some serious problems. And if your people are too emotional, radiate too much eagerness in their energy, what they're going to do is create a situation where their people are just going to do something to embarrass their company, because they don't know how to handle situations from a logical perspective. When you're in an interview process and you're calling a candidate, you just want to get the basics, and then you can bring the person in for face to face, and then that's when you can assess whether or not that person was a good fit. I knew from the phone call, listening to this person, it wasn't going to be a good fit, because once you start criticizing a person when you just have them on the phone, that shows me that it's going to be a hostile environment in that workplace. And that's why I decided to just walk away from this phone call and just move on to the next position. Now, I really do need another full-time job, but I'm looking for an environment. If I see an environment is toxic from the first minute, I'm not going to enter that environment and put myself at risk of losing another job, because I really want to find a full-time job that's a good fit. I'm looking for a place where I will be able to develop my talents, develop my skills, and work with people who want to move ahead and help and move towards accomplishing further goals in their career, and then furthering my goals in my own career. If you'd like to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon by clicking the link in the description box. And if you want to try some of my SJS Direct publications, you may do so by clicking the link to Amazon.com. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.